Hey, welcome to our podcast. This is Bad Playstyle. Bad Playstyle is a book club podcast where we all sit down and play the same game. And hopefully you have played the same game at home so that you can be intellectually engaged with our conversation.
Not psychically savaged by the infinite spoiler.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going to spoil every game that we set out to play. And any games that come up, I don't know, we'll probably fucking spoil them too, so check the show notes before you listen to an episode if you don't want to get blindsided by us mentioning off the cuff that, I don't know, Paul Ryan is Atlas.
We're back. Who's here this week? I'm Matt. I sound better, I hope.
Yeah.
Over here we have
Keenan Bailey.
and then we have.
Owen. Owen Harriman, and I think I probably might sound worse. I'm sick right now.
Yeah, you do sound a little muddy in the throat there.
So you're gonna hear me slurping my tea and like.
That's going to be disgusting for the two listeners we have.
Yeah. I was like, fuck you, I'm drinking my tea.
Tori and Kreber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. You're a bad man.
Yeah. So what do we play this week, fellas?
Well, we played Duskers this week.
Okay.
And I was thinking we should give a good breakdown of what the game is before we start tearing.
Sure. That seems like your bailiwick, dude.
Yeah.
Which is ironic.
Yeah.
Damn it!
So Duskers is a game. It's I would describe it as like a very like top down like bird's eye view game where you are operating a spaceship. You are traveling through desolate and empty space. Some sort of horrible cataclysm has happened to the galaxy-spanning civilization that you were presumably a part of.
At least one.
At least one thing.
One or more apocalypses have happened. And you are tasked with operating a ship that I suspect is completely unmanned.
Yeah.
That has a number of drones, and you go find derelict ships floating in space, and you dock with them, and you send your drones into the ship, and you have to very carefully and meticulously open doors and run motion scans, because there's terrible things that go bump in the night in these ships, like horrible space fungus, or killer robots, or
the poop shooters.
Yeah.
Or the growling things
Yeah,
that charge really fast.
Oh, that's the poop shooters.
The poop
You weren't in that
shooters.
conversation, I guess.
And it's a roguelike, so it's brutal. You will die often. Things can happen randomly. Things can happen seemingly for no reason. Small mistakes can have terrible consequences.
Terrible consequences.
It's not. It's like this is most of the time when I'm playing a roguelike, I feel a certain amount of shame or like
Like you own the fuck up.
or like regret.
Right.
No. Like when I reset.
Okay.
Right, and it's not because like I fucked up or it's just like I don't want to have to do that.
Right.
Right. And then in this one, I'm like, well, the very first room, for some reason, just exploded. And like all my robots were in there. So
we're fucked.
okay, I'm gonna hit escape, and then I'm gonna hit R, and then we're gonna do this again.
Yeah, it's unfair enough that you don't really take it personally.
Right, but like for some reason,
Like-
because it's like just 4 robots or 3 robots or whatever, it's like okay. It's like it's not me. I don't
Right.
have, like. It's not like XCOM where I'm like, oh no, character that I've put many hours into. It's like
who lived and breathed.
no,
and clearly.
it's like it's Terry. Terry who had pry. Terry who had pry got hit by a poop shooter because he opened the wrong fucking door, which was my fault.
Right. I told Terry to do that,
Yeah.
but Terry's a robot.
Yeah.
He is replaceable.
And I guess Qbert and Barry could leave, but why? They don't have Gather anymore. Like they can't get more fuel.
So I had a run go really sideways once, where all of my robots but my generator robot were destroyed.
Oh, fuck.
So like one of the functions in the game is the ship that you board will be unpowered, and so you have to find these sockets.
Well, it's part of the puzzle, you know. You have
Yeah.
to,
So you find this socket, you send your little battery robot over there, and you plug them into the ship, and you can turn on part of the ship and like use some of the doors. And so usually this is the robot that has to stay behind while you're traversing the ship.
Right.
And so like
And he just sits there, he's plugged in, he's incredibly vulnerable.
yeah.
Unless you put a turret on him.
Okay, fair.
So anyway,
But that's random.
some bad shit happened
Okay.
to Robot 1 and Robot 3. And Robot 2, the generator robot, was hanging back and was left with no other option but just turn around and get back into his ship. We went back into the ship, we ripped out all the upgrades on the ship to turn them into scrap metal so that we could build a single gather tool to put onto that generator robot.
Oh man.
And so that
That sounds like a badass, like, hard mode run.
So this generator robot, he goes onto the ship, he turns on the power, he picks a room to go in,
He opens the
that door, and he just walks in there. And he
without power to the ship.
and he picks up anything on the floor he likes, and he runs away from anything that wants to kill him. And then when he's done, he goes back to the socket and he opens another door, and he just keeps doing it. And he made
super
it
hard mode.
He made it to 3 different ships.
Wow. So, and that's the thing is like these robots that you're sending out, like Qbert and Barry and Terry, because they have like random names.
They randomly
Yeah,
named
they have
her.
random names, and Sally and shit. They are going to die.
Right.
Right,
It's
like,
inevitable.
Like you're eventually going to either run out of fuel, or one of the spookies is going to get them, right? Or radiation, because I've definitely vented my own robots.
Or,
on
I was about to
accident
say,
before.
or the most devastating thing, the airlock. Like,
Right, yeah. So like.
Well,
When they die, you don't go, oh, they died. You go, wow, I'm really surprised they made it that far.
well, and you're leaving out the one death in the game I actually really don't like is also just like completely arbitrary structural failures of the ship you're exploring.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the older the ship is, the more volatile it is, and the more it's like doing random die rolls in the background to just break shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I had a run that was going pretty well, and then like in the dialogue box said like pipe burst in R22. I'm like, oh, what's an R22? Oh, it's all
Everything.
It's all my
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I went into a room earlier today. I was running into this long hallway here, and I'm like, okay. We turn around, we leave that room,
Yeah,
and I had done some like roundabout shit with some transporters and like teleported around the inside of the dungeon, and it was the first room we had entered before, and it
like
was
from the airlock.
yeah, and it was gone, and it was like it was red and yellow at the same time,
Sure.
so it was like there's no
It's
air
vented
and
and
it's full,
irradiated.
and it's full of radiation, like full of radiation, and like had broken all the doors to it. Also, so I was like, cool, dodged a bullet there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's numerous ways you can die. It seems like we all enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I really didn't like it at first. When it comes to typing as a game mechanic, I love it as an aesthetic.
Uh-huh.
But I find like when I have to type a lot in a game as its core function, I get really tired of it quickly.
Mhm.
And especially if I have to do it under like pressure,
Duress.
Like yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Which is something you will have to do in this game.
Yeah, once or twice. Yeah.
Um,
I can't type the word stealth anymore, apparently.
Yeah, so fuck, what was I gonna say? But like I got used to it in this game.
I feel like this game also what I do is you remember we were talking about Doom.
Mm-hmm.
You play it for 45 minutes, put it down, go do something else.
Yeah.
Like I have a gamer. I play games for like long contiguous periods of time.
You can marathon a game in an impressive way.
So, but like this game, I'm like I go in, I do one run, which is relatively short because the robot mortality rate is high.
It's very high.
Super high.
I'm sorry, the Roomba mortality rate, because they are all Roombas.
They're all Roombas, some with wheels, some that hover, and that doesn't matter.
Some of them look like the Batmobile, but
Yep.
they're all still Roombas.
I think if the Roomba isn't touching the carpet, it's not going to vacuum very well.
Hey, you don't know what sort of like G technology they're using.
Yeah, this is space,
Just saying.
man.
I don't like the Batmobile robots because they see red. I don't like seeing red.
I usually make them my generator robot, so I never have to control them directly. Because, like, you open the first airlock, I send one robot out so we can find out what the name of the first room is, and then I say, navigate all to that room, generator.
Yeah.
And, like,
Yeah.
that's probably close to the last time I'll give that
Yeah.
robot instructions.
Yeah, except to leave.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you have to do juggling with...
So,
Yeah, sometimes you have to move
So
to a
I
generator.
remember there was another. You weren't here. I was in a call with Owen for this one, but he told I got 2 turrets randomly on a downed robot because so you start with like the robots have like 3 slots that you can like slot tools into, and these tools are how you tackle the dungeon, right?
Their
and the tools,
functions
the more
and et
you
cetera.
use them, the quicker they break down.
Right,
And
so
you can
every time you use it, it gains a percentage of failure rate.
Right, and then you can repair them back on your ship, but the costs are exorbitant. The whole point is you have to keep scavenging and keep changing your strategy up, right? And like work with very little. So I got 2 turrets. I random 2 turrets on a down robot. You can find random down robots. That's usually where you get new tools.
They got cool stuff.
They got cool stuff on them. So he was like, "Oh, cool, 2 turrets." And then Owen told me, he was like, "Oh yeah, I did this thing. I like to call it the magic elevator, where you slap a turret on a robot, you put him in your dropship, which can move around the map.
Oh, nice.
Right? So you put him in the drop, and you open the door, and then whatever monster is in that room that he opened the door off of, that's like a new room,
It comes after it and gets turreted.
He's hamburger now.
Yeah.
Right? But like,
That's a good. I like that.
but we found out that the turret doesn't work on the swarms of bugs that come out of the vents.
So I
Fuck your strat.
read a little bit about that.
Huh.
It's that they work on the bugs, but it takes 10 shots to kill a bug,
And there's 20 bugs.
and there's 20 bugs.
Yeah.
So good luck.
And a turret has 100 bullets.
Yeah. So, okay.
So no. So that mathematically no.
So anyway, the turret didn't work on the bugs.
yeah.
And there was 2 robots in that ship. I only had 3 at the time. So the bugs came in and went and like killed them all.
Yeah.
But they were in the exit grid.
Right.
Right? So it just brought it back to the generator robot, put the generator robot in it, which at first he wouldn't go all the way in, but apparently the game was like giving me a mulligan on that one.
Okay, like yo, you're dead.
So
robot
like, yeah,
carcasses.
I went back to my ship, repaired each of them 1 hit point,
Oh yeah.
and then like, okay, here we go.
Oh man! So one thing that we should make clear, because we're making it sound like you can go back to that ship.
Oh no!
You can't.
Once you leave a ship, you're done.
You leave a ship, it's
And,
done.
like
You don't get to
even
go
if you
back.
save in the middle of a ship, you're done with that ship.
Yeah, if you
So-
like leave the game,
Yeah.
you left that ship.
Yeah. So anyway, another thing I figured out that was cool. I mean, this might not be interesting to the podcast listeners, but I want to tell you guys is that the poop shooters, as I call them, the dudes that like zoom past your field of
Oh
vision,
man, yeah.
and like because they see you from further away than you can see them, and they zoom at you at like 3,000 miles
Yeah,
an
like,
hour,
I blink and I'm dead.
and they slam into you, and then they start like sucking on your electricity. They're not an instant kill.
No.
They do a finite amount of damage.
But you're usually too shocked by what the fuck just hit me from across the room.
But I had one where like my lead guy had 120 hit points.
Okay.
Came into a room, got poop shooted, and then was like, meh, and left.
Yeah, I did that once.
With like
and I
5
felt
hit points.
That's like the best victory you can have.
Yeah.
Like, oh, fuck you didn't kill me, I'm leaving.
And the little guy slammed into me. He was just like,
Yeah.
like sitting there, and I'm like, okay, I'm going.
Yeah,
bye."
fuck you, I'm alive.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk through this door and close it and find a way to vent your ass.
No, I immediately vented
Yep.
him, which that was the room with the pipe burst in it.
Okay. So, my very first game, I end up with a robot, I had stealth to begin with. I'm like, I guess this works, it recharges. So I'm playing a really slow, methodical, sneak in a room while you're invisible, don't get too close, because maybe it sees you.
No, seriously, if you bump into them, they will see
They
you.
will just wreck you
Yeah.
immediately.
Most of them will.
Yeah.
Not all of them will.
So,
I've done some fucking around with stealth.
so I'm sneaking through the ship, and then I realize, like, oh, that door's an airlock. I don't give a shit about anything in this room except that alien that needs to be
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah, it needs to be dead.
So I scoot out, and I'm like, I wonder. And I do it. And I had this great moment of joy when I realized that I could just vent motherfuckers into space.
Yeah.
And I felt so clever.
The
I was like,
thing-
hee hee game, fuck you. And then
the thing I love about
I left it
venting-
open too long, and I broke the whole room.
Oh, okay. The thing I love about venting though is that like when you open the airlock, it's instantly exposed to space. Like
Yep.
the room turns yellow.
Vacuum.
Right, and it says like room exposed to vacuum. Anything in there that's not nailed down is in space, like literally within the same frame that you open it.
Yep.
Like I love the instantaneous
Yep.
nature. It's just like boop.
and it implies that these airlocks open incredibly fast.
Well, have you ever seen it? Have you ever opened an airlock when you had like vision on the room?
No.
Like literally, the objects like slide across the room
Yep.
towards the door. Like,
Okay.
it's fantastic.
Very fast.
Oh, very fast.
Okay.
Very fast.
And then if you leave it open too long, this happy thing happens where everything gets broken in the room.
Yeah.
And radiation comes in.
And
then-
leaking into your ship.
and then leaks into the ship through any doors or vents that are possibly connected.
Yeah.
So you don't want to leave it open too long. And since everything goes out of them very quickly, it's usually a tap the button again situation to not fuck everything in the room.
Duskers is somewhat unusual from the other games we played, where there's nothing we can talk about except for the gameplay. Like, there's no story. Like, there is a story, but
There's a little
like,
to be said about the story.
okay, well, let's talk about the story then.
So the story, so the game at the beginning like posits that there's these how many different?
I think it's like 6.
Say 5 or 6.
It's like Grey Goo,
Super Predator,
Super Predator,
a Cosmic Event, AI, or Foreign Threat.
or foreign threat. So there's there might be one for.
I feel like there's a biological event.
Oh yeah, there's Contagion.
Yeah,
that's the other one.
Contagion. That's what. So it's 6.
So there's these 6 competing theories as to why everyone everywhere is dead.
And the answer is all of them, it seems like.
Well, so I have thoughts about that that come from something I think you two haven't had access to.
Okay.
In the game I've been playing on the computer I'm resting my hand on right now, for the viewers that are watching us on their television.
Yeah. High def.
On computer 1, I've been encountering a very consistent suite of enemies. I've been running into just this like fucking space fungus crap, and it drives me crazy, and I don't like it.
Every time Owen has mentioned space fungus off of the podcast, there has been a vitriol.
Yeah, no.
Well, and it's like always accompanied by, and then the robot died.
Yep.
Yeah. So I've been running into a lot of this space fungus, and so like so I should clarify, like when you lose in the game, or when you play a run, even if you lose, it's clear that some sort of outside observer is like collating information on your run,
Maintaining
and
these
like
records.
and like what you've experienced and what you've found. When I played on my other computer, I have a different computer setup in my living room. I started a game there. It's a different save. There's no cloud save, so nothing carries over. I've encountered no space fungus, and I've been consistently encountering a different suite of enemies.
Oh, interesting.
And so it is my suspicion that when I started my new game on computer A, it made a decision then that like...
I have some input on that. It's actually based on what ships you're going to in that individual game.
Okay.
So I did a little reading, right? So, and they were talking about the story develops based on which ships you're scanning.
Oh.
Okay.
Until it sort of gets to a point where it's kind of a runaway
Like it
train.
decides, like,
Yeah.
habitually you've
where
gone to
it's
these-
made a decision. Okay, so
Yeah.
my save...
But like you sort of make the decision. Like if you go to Muteki ships, it's AI. If you go to medical, it's Contagion.
Okay,
if you go
that makes
to
sense.
space stations, it's
Great.
Grey Goo. If you
I don't like it. They're telling me to go into the quarantine ships, and it's like, I don't want to... What are you, crazy?
Yeah,
You're telling me to go there without a decontaminate module.
my current objective for that one is go into a quarantine ship, which first of all requires a specific ship upgrade that you got to go
Yeah.
find.
Hold the phone.
Right.
Objectives?
So hold on, and so you got to go do that. Then it wants me to find an enemy and lure them into my drop pod, and
Oh,
then
fuck
close
that.
my drop pod. Which, like that would just mean that I would need 2 things. I would need a
crafty
quarantine
door work.
bypass, and I would need a lure.
Right.
Those are the 2. Like, yeah, but like still, I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's way dangerous. Like,
All that's super terrible.
so I have played lots of very short games.
Mhm.
I came in today and Owen was on a game that was like
Oh, yeah.
30 days deep.
So, yeah, Keenan came over, and I was...
You done like 30 runs on one or 30 like dives?
Sometimes you spend more than one day on a ship, so like that number's not perfect.
Okay.
I don't think it's I don't think it's days elapsed on the ship. I think it has to do with the travel.
Okay.
But so when Keenan got here, I was just wrapping up in a rather spectacular fashion
Yeah, it was good.
my 97-day run.
Jesus.
So we looked at the stats, and all of the current stats were the best stats. It's like, oh,
And to be
that's the
fair,
best
most
run.
of my playtime is not on that computer.
Fair,
It's on this
fair.
one. So like, but still, that one would still top my other computer save game. Like, I could not believe how well that run went for so long.
That's great. I haven't experienced that yet, but it's it's like a roguelike inevitability. Eventually things have to go right.
Yeah, so I have met pretty much every kind of fuck up I think I could possibly do. I've learned a lot about the game's systems, but I haven't, like, there's a combination of me fucking up in new and profound ways, as well as the game's just really being rude about the RNG on me.
Oh,
It's,
yeah.
In a way
it's
where, like,
rude,
oh-
especially when you first start playing.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed was that as I played, it started giving me on resets mods that I was using frequently
Mm-hmm.
more often.
Yeah, like it
Right.
sort of notices your playstyle.
Right, and tries to not in time because it will switch it up sometimes, but it'll give me stuff that it knows and can know how I know how
It
to
sort
use.
of gives you a
At
comfort
first,
zone.
but the first couple times it would give me like stealth and lure, and I'm like, great,
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
The two most dangerous things I can have in
Right,
Star.
and like I don't really know how to play this game, so you could bet those runs went well.
Yeah.
So
When I first started, anytime it would give me stealth, like at the start of the game, I would just restart on the spot. I was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Give me motion, you bastard. And like now at this point, I think I actually prefer starting with the stealth unit rather than motion.
It's a little more, like, active.
It's not just that, but like every once in a while when you do a motion scan, it'll
come back completely fucking useless.
yeah, you run it in every single room around you, it comes back inconclusive.
Neat.
And you're just like, I have no move.
Yeah, it's like
There's
not,
no obvious
it's
path,
not really
yeah.
actionable. But like with stealth, even though stealth I think is genuinely more dangerous than doing a motion scan, you always have a path forward.
Right. Stealth is neat because you have this level of control, but that level of control is incredibly dangerous.
Yeah.
Like,
Anyway, I was gonna say I have a pet theory
okay.
that the drone operator is a AI.
Is this based on anything or
No, this is just. I mean, that's just kind of. I mean, it's based on like you're the only thing
Mhm.
around. Like you encounter no other people or intelligences. You encounter monsters.
And it kind of
Well,
works with the way the reset
I-
mechanic works.
Well, also, the only benign things you can dock with, the Stargates
Uh-huh.
are autonomous,
Yeah.
and there's trading posts, which are autonomous.
Yeah.
They're auto traders.
There are no personalities to
They are
them.
machines.
Right. So I kind of feel like whatever happened, this is an AI that's like forgot because it gained sentience, you know?
Mhm.
Like somehow through the event of like becoming like through apotheosis. It doesn't remember what's going on. And like just from the way that it like Coley said it, it's like this is the mention. I know exactly what to do. Like
Right.
right?
I don't know. So like one of the starting screens you'll get where it like summarizes information. There's like things for and against what you're saying, right? There's a readout where the ship like goes through scans of its systems, and then the last one is like ship subsystems or something fails. I get something like that. But then underneath that it'll say like, hey, you got 3 robots on board and 1 person. Right? Like there's a piece of text that
Oh,
suggests that you're a person.
okay.
But it also doesn't say that you are that. Like maybe you just have a person in your cargo
Yeah,
and you're the ship's
Maybe
AI.
you have the last person
Right.
and you're like, I need to give this back somewhere.
I need to find this a safe place. You know, like maybe that's the plan. I don't know, but it's interesting because there's like the thing I really like is that I haven't run into anything that's like definite in any fashion.
Sure.
Right. The thing that's
Well, that's why I refer to this as a pet theory. Is I don't
Yeah.
necessarily have a lot of evidence.
yeah.
Or even like really any that I could point to beyond just my gut feeling.
Well, and that's part of the game's charm to me. Like I came in and I'm like, I don't know anything. I'm just gonna fuck around.
Yeah.
And like I found myself wanting to know more about these things and also not being fed much, so it keeps me going.
Yeah, I guess.
Right? Like that the poop monsters, poop shooters,
Poop shooters.
as you refer to them, just continuously murder me, and I don't have a really good way to deal with them because I rarely get offensive weapons. Like that makes them an interesting thing because like I've started playing with like, okay, how close can I get?
I was gonna say I really like that this is a roguelike focused on exploration.
Yes.
Because most roguelikes, it's like, okay, I got into the room, there was an ogre, I didn't have the right shit.
Right.
I failed some rolls, he killed me.
Right.
Okay.
Right. It's either the RNG kills you or you're not prepared.
Right,
or-
and like when the RNG kills me in this game, it's because just the room I was in just fucking exploded.
Right. It's like, what do you do?
Or the fungus.
Yeah.
Like fuck the fungus.
I haven't dealt with
I haven't
any
experienced
fungus.
So I'm going to talk about the fungus.
Okay.
Like, fuck the space fungus. I really.
It's really funny because I feel like among the 3 of us, you've had the most issues with fungus. Like,
No, like it's interesting because like it puts a different flavor on things for him than
So-
for us.
so-
like,
First of all, fungus doesn't show up on motion scan because
Okay.
it's just sitting there. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's space
it's a
fungus.
fungus.
Second of all, fungus will spread towards you.
okay.
It'll just like spawn more of itself.
Just spore it up.
Through doors, or?
I've never seen it go through a door that I didn't open first.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I can go through. Actually, the vents part doesn't matter because here's the really annoying part about fungus: is if you board a ship that has fungus on it. This is something I've read on the wiki. I haven't 100% confirmed this for myself, but it is consistent with my field observations that if you enter a ship that has fungus on it, the fungus can begin to spawn itself anywhere on the ship.
Okay.
And so frequently, what has happened to me is I'll be doing my dirt, I'll be doing my business, and I'm like mucking around in the ship, and I'll tell you, oh, and generator robot is dead, and I'm like, what? And I hurry over to the generator robot.
I need that.
I hurry over to generator robot, and generator robot is just covered in fungus.
And then the fungus lunges at you.
No, it doesn't lunge.
No?
It just sits there, and it grows slowly. But if you step on it, it's hurting you.
Right.
And it slows the shit out of you.
Cool.
It is susceptible to being airlocked.
Is it susceptible to being shot?
Yes, but I don't think it's a super good way to do it.
Okay.
The only time I would resort to shooting it is if I have sometimes on the ship you can find defensive turrets built into the ship, and you can turn them on through the ship's computer if you have the right tool. That's a good way to do it because I don't think those have. I believe those have infinite ammo.
Yeah, they just keep shooting.
So you can just turn those on and they'll wipe it out. But yeah, fuck the fungus. It's.
I suspect the fungus. I've heard legend in the help menu of a decontaminate ship module.
Yeah.
So I suspect that may be the counter to it, but fucking good luck finding that in the RNG.
I read.
I think I've run into those once when it was destroyed.
Yeah,
I
cool.
read that players think that moving around a lot makes you less susceptible to it just landing on you.
Okay.
Which, though, like I said, that I can't confirm that for sure, but that sort of jives with my experience. That like 4 or 5 times now, I've just had my generator robot just die from fungus just crawling on him.
So I want to iterate that we keep saying players think and those kinds of things. There's a wiki for this game, but it's by no means
it's not comprehensive
at all helpful.
Yeah, I was talking to Keenan about it because I was trying to understand these enemies I'm encountering a bit better, and a lot of it's very clear that this is a wiki that doesn't quite have enough user contributions to be confident in what it's saying. Yeah. Where all the wiki articles say it is thought or
it is commonly understood.
Yeah, or
everything is stamped with citation needed.
No, because it's a wikia, so
small interjection. I saw the other day that the Wikipedia article for serial killers ranked by amount of kills at the top says, please do not contribute to this wiki by killing more people.
Good.
Anyway,
good.
Go do thing.
Don't go for top score.
But yeah, so nothing in there is super confident, and also I'm gonna say it again, the space fungus. The screenshot for they call it green slime. I call it fungus because the screenshot they have looks nothing like what is in my game.
Huh.
But their description of it jives with mine, and I think my suspicion is that that's just an artwork pass from a previous iteration of the game. That's not that uncommon in games. Even if this isn't an early access game,
sure,
that's common enough.
I've from my understanding, this game is a very small dev team.
Yeah.
So, type of thing. Maybe patch notes aren't a priority.
Yeah. Well, and also this wiki, only there's 6 enemy types in the game. Only 2 of them have screenshots on their wiki articles. This is what I mean of the kind of ramshackle state of that wiki.
It's totally untraveled land in an interesting way that helps me even when I fuck up. I'll reset a game and just be like, yeah, cool, let's go again.
Yeah.
It's not
none of the monsters in this game have names in the game. It's that thing you saw, that thing that looks like a jumbled mess of orange.
Yeah, the orange crystal.
And it was only
monster
orange
that moves
because you were
fast.
on that one robot that filters everything orange.
Yeah.
And so the monsters all have names in the wiki, but they're it's a leaper and a swarm and green slime and
which is not names I have given them.
Yeah. Space fungus.
There's the purple guys, the poop shooters.
The purple guys who are basically robots with turrets.
Those are security robots.
Yeah.
Purple guys. Well, because for the first the majority of the time I played this game, I never actually ran into a live one of those.
Oh, really?
I would always just like come across their corpses.
Huh.
Because I'd be like, there's a dude in there, turn on the turret, boom, and then I'd go in there and there'd be a bunch of purple chunks everywhere, roughly in humanoid shape, and I'd be like, okay, this is purple dude.
My turrets don't blow those up. My
Yeah.
defense turrets on ships don't shoot the purple guys.
Okay.
Like, I was telling Owen when I watched him hit the defenses and kill something. Like, it reports, like, yo, it killed something. I'm like, that has never happened for me. Like, my turrets just love everything.
Okay.
It's kind of shitty. Like, because I'm like, defenses are stupid. I'm worried they're going to shoot me, like, kind of things.
So one thing I noticed, and I'm tempted to read into it as a story element, but this may just be a simplicity of the game's design, is at one point I had herded the purple robot and a leaper into the same room, and they're cool. Like, they don't fight.
Fuck. No breaks. Like,
Yeah.
you can't arena fight them.
And
you can't, like...
so like part of me wants to say, well, like, okay, well, they are friends, great, like they are on the same side. I have to somehow like fit this into the
narrative. Of
the
what's going on
apocalypse narrative. Cool. These are both like products from like a nanomachine, thing. Great.
Yeah, everyth's out to kill you. None of it kills each other. Like, but I find the thing that like sort of makes me curious about this game, like even more, is even when I fail, I'm having a good time. Like, it does a good balance of like, ha, you're dumb, and like that's funny, isn't it?
Well,
It's so easy come, easy go.
yeah.
Well, and the fact that your narrative progresses even if you like catastrophically fail.
Right,
So,
there's something to
like,
gain
from
that failure.
That's a good feel.
Like, my games have been so short that I've never gotten, like, consistent amounts of data on any of the events. So, like, that you were, like, objective, I'm like, wait, what? Like...
Yeah,
like,
once you get high enough tier in one of the theories, it starts giving you actually shit to do.
I wonder if that's what helps select.
In the Grey Goo one, I have to clear every single room on a Class A or Class B space station.
Oh, okay.
Which I've done twice and still hasn't updated, so maybe I'm doing the wrong thing. I don't know. But whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, anyone have anything else to say about Duskers?
Let's talk about how it looks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's got a really cool aesthetic. It has this like, so when you're looking at your robot in a room, it's got this like each robot. First of all, each robot has its own different type of night vision.
Yeah. Each type of robot has its own type of.
Yeah. And like the whole room will be shown to you in like grainy kind of infrared night vision goggles
with some really good VCR scan.
Yeah. It's got good effects. And then on top of that, there's overlaid like basically like an AR interface. So like you see like the little grainy radar block out of your robot, and on top of that there'll be like a sort of green or yellow or whatever shape drawn on top of it with a number and like with its name. Telling you what it is, and it's actually a cool thing that can happen. This is cool in quotes, kind of like fun, Dwarf Fortress fun. A cool thing that can happen is one of your robots can just lose vision.
Oh yeah.
If
you start using the robots too much, they break too.
Yeah,
So.
the video feed will go out on your robot, and
then just come back later.
It'll come back later. It will come back, but when it comes back, sometimes it'll be all fucked up, and sometimes the AR overlay will just be gone. And so like,
do you know about the degauss command?
Is that a thing?
It's a thing, and it says it like resets the robot's vision, but it's
Oh,
never
cool,
really
I didn't
done
know
anything
that.
I noticed.
So yeah, Keenan keeps
Yo, the
reading
help menu, bro.
Yeah, Keenan keeps reading the help menu, and I ain't trying to do that.
The help menu's like, hey, I got stuff, and I'm like, yo, I need stuff.
But he found the commandeer command, which was great.
Yeah.
Found a ship, my first ship that I landed on my run that I started this morning. 57 scrap capacity. You start with 50, and it had 3 ship upgrade slots instead of 2, which was great.
Yeah,
one of them was already in there, and it was a quarantine bypass, which I need.
Yo.
What was I saying?
You were talking about vision.
You were talking about the
UI.
aesthetic.
Yeah. And so, so sometimes when your robot's vision crashes and the AR is gone, you're just this sort of nondescript shape, and you'll like drive around a room, and like I've had rooms I drive in like that where I can't even tell that like for example, you can find a port to suck out the fuel from this derelict ship. I've just driven straight past them because like I can't tell because everything's just screwed up.
Right.
And then the other visual mode you can switch to is like a very like clean schematic view of the whole ship. Of
The-
all the rooms drawn out in fine green
Yeah,
lines and
the
little
like
boxes
overworld
that are
reminds me a
labeled.
lot of like older DOS games.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
it's very simple. The symbols are all like very specific things, and then the colors denote what status that
and
is.
there's that like starship noise in the background.
Yeah, it's got this kind of like it kind of reminds me the overworld reminds me a lot of like ZZT rooms. If that makes any sense. Like, because it's all the same like 7 shapes.
Mhm.
And then literally the color of the icon of any kind denotes whether it's like broken or disabled or normal or like, junk on the ground or whatever. And then like, yeah. So, and the thing I really like about the difference between the two screens is that like the overworld screen is like this really like simplistic low fidelity thing. And then you go to one of your robots and you're like, oh, cool, there's like weird crates in the corner that don't matter.
Yeah.
And like it gives you more detail about the ship and like provides a completely different style.
Well, it's all very barren too. Like the sound design, like in the background at all times, you have that like Starship Enterprise like giant stone boulder rolling kind of noise.
Yeah.
And then like other than that, the game is fucking silent. There's no music. There's not really much as far as ambient noises. Every once in a while, when you're rolling through the ship, you'll find some part of the ship that's making noise.
Yeah.
It's going, oh,
Yeah, like big hole, nasty noises,
and-
horror movie
Yeah.
noises.
Yeah, like it does a really good job of making ships feel empty and dangerous.
So
Like,
H-Bomb talks a lot about like how what was that game that everyone hated about space? Endless Sky.
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. He was talking about No Man's Sky actually creates this really cool like feeling of loneliness in outer space. I feel like Duskers kind of nails that shit too.
Yeah?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when you refer to it as the black or the void in that way, like that game
Nails
helps
it.
embody
Yeah,
that
nails
in a really strong.
But yeah, I've bailed out on multiple ships just because you hear a noise.
Yeah.
And you're just
Yeah.
like, bye.
Every once in a while, you're like, I got nothing and 2 robots, and I don't want. Nope.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. The generators too. They make different noises.
Mhm.
Like I had one that sounded like straight up a lawnmower
Yeah.
the other
Okay.
day, and that was extreme. Like I,
That sounds really.
I'm in the
nerve-wracking.
ship and I turn on the generator and like everything's fine, but I'm hearing this lawnmower noise from the generator.
That
and I'm
feels like it would like really.
and I'm
up
like,
the
I want to
tension.
leave.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on
Yeah.
this ship.
like that like rides on like chainsaws in horror movies in my spine.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
kind of thing.
Exactly.
Like
you hear an internal combustion engine in this sort of environment where you're already on edge, and you're like, okay,
yeah.
that's A, janky as hell.
Yeah.
Like
That thing is missing a stroke.
B, like I'm out.
Yeah, like it's interesting how well that game's like we were talking about like there's clear paths given the information you're given.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting how often my path will immediately shut in front of me and I'm just fucking Godzilla nope with my fingers in
Yeah.
the air going back in the water. Like
Yeah.
right, like I am not afraid to get back in my little
Oh,
ship
yeah.
and fucking leave
Mm-hmm.
because like
You know what's the best feeling in the world, though? Is when you clear every room in the ship
yeah.
and you just type open all.
See,
and then,
yeah, 'cause
and
there's
then nav
open all.
R1.
Yeah.
And they all they take whatever path they want.
Yup.
Because you own that whole fucking shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Or-
I told Owen, I was like, there's close all and open all, and I'm like, close all is great, makes you feel good. Open all makes my butthole like a fist. Like the idea of opening all the doors that I've actually,
Yeah.
makes my skin crawl.
There's a run the run that Keenan just saw the
Yeah.
end of where like some shit went bad.
It went real bad.
But like in a way that like made me kind of mad at the game or mad at a specific monster. And so like
Was it the green slime?
No, it was a turret.
Yeah, this is on my other computer. Yeah, it was just a purple turret guy.
And he snuck up on Owen, and
I was already like
Gave him the hammer.
I was already having a bad day. We lost a really good robot this ship before, and I kind of had to scrap a lot of good tools.
he did some desperate shit to keep going.
To get gather on a robot, and then they killed my gather robot again.
Yeah.
And I knew I just didn't have enough to make a third one. So like I take my guy back into the ship. We have remote power, so I've powered up the station, and I'm just like I'm opening doors.
Yeah.
And I'm opening doors. And I'm opening doors. It's like fuck your spaceship. Like, I've already airlocked the guy who killed my robot and my robot. But it's like fuck this ship.
No, like he got vengeful.
Fuck
He was
your
like,
horse.
No, yeah.
Fuck your
It was
armor.
that. Owen's like, fuck this entire ship. I'm like, what are you gonna do? He's like, I'm gonna fuck it up. And he opens all the airlocks, and we just watch it go from, like, open air, totally fine, to, like, everything yellows out, which means there's no atmosphere, and then just the radiation starts coming in.
Yeah.
And, like, Owen doesn't leave until it's all solid yellow and red. You know, like, there was some
hatred.
vengeance.
Yeah.
Like, it was good. I appreciated the, like, gesture, because, like, I haven't been there, but this is also, like, a game that's, like, super impressive to me, who plays, like, 5-day games, and then a shit monster kills me.
Yeah.
You know, like, so I'm like, man, Owen went deep. He got, like, 4 systems through. He's been doing it, like...
No, I made it through 5 and was on the 6th.
Okay, so, like, you know, he's rolling along. I'm like, this is impressive. He's got some mastery going. And then the RNG just turns on him, and I'm like, that's the game I know. Like, but I felt it while he was doing it. I was like, yes, this is the proper reaction.
I was watching someone play FTL today,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, would there be some way to generate a Duskers map from someone's FTL playthrough? Or something like, because they seem
because
like,
you were watching it.
they seem like very, like, almost overlapping, at, like, because you just go around and blow up ships all the time. I don't know.
Well, and the UIs have, like, really similar elements in a way. Like, I was watching you watch that, and I was like, oh, fuck. Like, oh, there's 2 games here. Like, like, I had this sort of moment, like, oh my god, those could exist in the same place, because in FTL you're, like, moving you're opening the doors, and you're dealing with systems and stuff, and it was like...
But you're dealing with them in a way where it's like, it's mine or it's his.
The ships are alive,
Right,
there's a
yeah.
conflict,
Right.
whereas, like,
So
Duskers is, like, the game after
Yeah, it's
FTL.
like before or after.
Yeah, like...
I was just about to say, I think we figured out which of the 6
Right.
apocalypses it was.
Right.
Armed military conflict.
Yeah.
Damn Rebs.
Yeah, like, and I wanted to talk about, like, this game to me is one of those great indie games in that it doesn't need to be fancy, except in its execution of its concept.
Sure.
What do you mean indie? This is made by Electronic Arts.
So...
I kid.
God, it would be so much worse. So, like,
DLC.
its sound design is very simple, but
Unbreakable motion detector.
very, like, effective, right?
Oh, yeah.
We were talking about the ship noises when they come up. The monsters all have their own noises.
Not all of them.
Okay, fair. The fungus probably doesn't make noise.
I mean, silence is a noise.
Fungus doesn't make noise. Doesn't show up in motion trackers. It can appear in rooms that you've already cleared.
Fungus sounds like a dick.
Yep.
So, but, like, it's all these really boiled down things that are executed, like, just to that point to make it work. And there's something, like, really great about the sum of all of it, right? Like, its visuals aren't incredibly complex.
It's got a great cohesive atmosphere.
Right, and then like, they execute on the game mechanics. I think it really helps that your robots generally are really slow.
Yeah.
Like, that builds the tension.
Speed boost is fun.
Oh, I bet. Or, like, having the
but-
magical amount of spare scrap to actually upgrade my robot's speed would be amazing.
Who does that?
No, don't do that. If you have that much scrap, you know what you should do with it? Nothing. Something bad's gonna happen to you soon, and
Yeah.
you're gonna need to spend it.
Yep. Exactly. I've been so broke the entire
I've
game.
actually kind of been taking the opposite, because, like, when I started playing this game, I would do things very conservatively and try to, like, use as few motion detects as possible. But now I'm just like, dude, I've never run out of motion detects, so, like, we're just gonna spend it.
So that's a corner I turned recently. Is
Yeah.
like, I'm just gonna use my motion detector till it fucking dies.
Right.
Yeah.
But when it comes to scrap specifically,
Yeah.
it's just like, the best thing to do with it is don't spend it unless there's something you really need.
Yeah.
Because you never know when you're gonna lose that robot that has all the good parts.
Right. So to sort of frame what you guys are talking about, like, the fact that you've had economy decisions is cool, because I can count the number of times I've had double-digit scrap on one hand, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm excited that there's more to this game than I've experienced, in a way that, like, oh man, I get to actually make these decisions
Well, how,
instead of, like, limping along.
out of curiosity, how much time have you put into the game?
Probably 15-ish hours.
Really? Okay.
But, like, I keep, like, I
he's
reset,
been
like,
having pretty
every
bad
hour.
luck.
Okay.
You know, like, it's... But then the other thing that's interesting is, like, Matt and I live together, and I'll be playing it, and Matt will walk by and watch me play a little bit, and then next thing I know, Matt's playing in the living room.
Dude, I can't watch someone play this game and then not...
Right,
Like,
right.
Like, I was trying to watch, like,
It makes me want to stream it. I wish I had an audience.
Right-clicked on Owen and was watching him do it, and I was like, yeah, and then you And I was like giving him suggestions and shit, and then I was like, all right. I just like moved it up, and I just stopped listening to Owen entirely.
Yeah, well, there's Steam broadcasting, right? And I have it turned on where if someone wants to just voyeuristically jump in my game whenever they want.
Me too.
They don't need to ping me about it. They're just watching.
I should probably flip that switch.
Yeah.
It's like
it's great.
people have asked.
There's been multiple times, and you actually, I think, have flipped that switch because we were watching you play Longmore the other day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
Although I think you had to okay it.
Yeah, so
when
normally, like, you've jumped in on a couple of my games, and it'll be like, hey, can so-and-so watch? I'm like, yeah, of course they
I
can.
very
I'm like,
clearly remember Owen going, no! Keenan, no! That's a horrible decision! He's got it, there he goes.
But yeah, so I was at home playing Duskers, and Matt jumped in, and I didn't even notice that Matt had jumped in, and Matt was like talking to me about Duskers. I was like, oh yeah, we both been playing that game. And then like you said something about my game.
Oh god, that's weird.
And then like when I opened the Steam overlay, there's like a little box that I just hadn't noticed that says like, you are in broadcast mode now.
Yeah.
And for a while you were running Duskers and had my broadcast in your overlay.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you didn't watch it much after
No,
that.
because after I booted up mine, I just started paying attention to that. It ate my focus.
I feel like
This is a game that I actually wouldn't want to like be listening to something in the background during, even though there's actually like not really that much going on.
there's not like a
moment.
need for that focus, but like it draws that attention.
But yeah. This game like demands my attention
Mhm.
in a way that few games do.
and
these
it does
days.
it with so little. That's the part that I keep appreciating about it.
Although if your primary mode of egressing into rooms is stealth, you need all that attention.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you never, like that's a high concentration endeavor.
You need
Right,
to be able
like
to type those door names really quickly.
Stealth
sometimes.
D12.
So do you know about the control arrow thing?
Control arrow.
So if you hit control and up or down arrow,
Mhm.
it does the last command.
Oh,
And it makes like 10 of them. So what I've been doing when I go into rooms is I'll stealth into the room, right? I'll open the door, I'll scoot into the room, and then I'll control up and lock the door behind me.
okay.
Which is like, that's some baller shit, because like, if there's something in there and it notices you, you're fucking done, right?
Sure.
But at the same time, like normally, like I've been in a lot of situations where I don't have a secondary chamber to work from.
Sure.
So that's what my reaction to it was. Like, okay, I need to figure out how to lock this door really
Yeah,
fucking
you
fast.
need to airlock this thing quickly.
Yeah, so it's like dunk, dunk,
Yeah.
and you're in, and the door is shut, and then you're like, all right, what am I in here with? Right, like that's how my game ends
Have
up
you guys
playing.
gotten the probe tool?
No.
I haven't used it yet, but my understanding is that it lets you shoot a thing into a room and like look around.
That sounds neat.
That
Yeah.
sounds useful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Anyway.
so like I think we all really like Duskers.
Yeah, I think like within the first 5 minutes of playing it for the first time, after we decided to play this, I was like, I can see myself coming back to this
Yeah.
game periodically for years to come.
Yeah.
You know.
Let's talk about its tutorial too.
Oh, it's got a good tutorial.
Yeah,
It handholds you just enough.
As a person who has a very high tolerance for tutorials, it was fine.
It was.
And if you want to talk about tutorials, talk to the man who hates tutorials.
I want to say like I liked it because it gave me enough to work with, and then also didn't give
it
me
didn't really
everything.
hold your hand.
Yeah, it was enough to be like, here's how the game works, and I was like, cool, and I went off, and then like I ran a game or two before I ever opened the help menu.
So, as a testament to how much we all enjoyed this game and how much Corey and Trevor should play it, we totally skipped what have we been playing lately.
I was
It's true.
thinking about
Yeah.
that myself.
So,
And also,
so-
we all bought it instead of sharing it.
yeah, which because I think we all wanted to play it.
Yeah.
Without-
we didn't want to have to wait in line
Yeah.
since it's not a game with like a very fine
Plus, like,
linear end.
I looked at it, I was like, this concept's cool, small indie game.
Yeah,
I
whatever.
want to support it even if I don't love it.
Owen, what have you been playing, man?
So I recently downloaded a game called Packing Up the Rest of Your Stuff on the Last Day at Your Old Apartment, which after you extract it, you will find an executable called PUTROYSOTLDAYOA.
I mean, that's the name of the game. So, like, what's your fucking problem?
Yeah.
the acronym, that shit right
An
up.
acronym made out of, and it's like the name is about 2 inches long on your screen.
It's the AN. It's the
Yeah.
acronym.
And it seems to be set in like 2005 or something.
Okay.
And you are packing up your shitty little apartment, and you've got your iPod playing, and like an iPod, and you have cardboard boxes.
Tick, 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 tick,
Yeah,
tick.
yeah.
That click wheel, yo.
Yeah, and you're like packing up like the, like the 4 bottles of liquor that are almost empty on your shelf, and the, your CD collection and crap, and like anytime you pick up an item, there's like a little item description about your character's memories of this item, and then there's like a weird like little system of Tetrising things around in boxes to make it all fit. Like you actually have to pack your shit. You actually need to get out of here.
This sounds somewhat excruciating.
It's not that bad. It's got a very light interface for that. It's not super challenging or anything.
I like that it's like a day in the life of type game though.
Yeah,
like, that's cool.
Yeah, it's
yeah, that sounds pretty interesting. Is that on PC, Android?
Oh boy, I remember having to pick out of 3 platforms.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say it's on Windows, Linux, and Mac.
Okay. Were you playing anything else, or?
Shit. What else have I been
We
playing?
have all been playing the same game.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Duskers.
That's not the one I was thinking.
Let's see. I stopped playing Factorio.
Is there a reason, or just?
Well, he launched 32 rockets.
No, I tried like 60, bro.
He was done.
I'm almost done with Kentucky Route Zero.
Okay.
I don't really have anything new to say on that, other than like the game's not actually very long, but I also feel like I can't play it in a rush.
Okay.
Like I play it in like a spurt of like half an hour every 2 days.
Is that one of those games that has a mood?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I play it on a computer with a projector, and that's perfect for the atmosphere.
Okay. Cool.
Because it makes the room.
Yeah, I feel like the
very
buzzing
cool.
of the projector adds to the atmosphere of that game when I watched you play it.
Yeah. The game's got just phenomenal atmosphere, but I've spoken on that before.
Okay.
I think that's all I play.
No.
What else did I play?
You're forgetting the thing we've been pouring
We've all
hours
been
into.
playing a bunch of
We've been
together.
playing it together.
What? Oh, Heroes of the Storm. Yeah, I started playing Heroes of the
This is
Storm
a good
again.
Jackie Chan impression.
Oh,
You did the Jackie Chan meme, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good game. That's a MOBA for a dumb baby like me.
you've been playing the Merkin, the horrible fish bastard.
Yeah, the fish bastard Murky.
Yeah.
And Asmo dumb.
Yeah, I bought a very nice looking hat for my character.
And it
We
looks
got all
wonderful.
cosmetics or hats now forever.
Yep.
Thanks, TF2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Alright, is it you or me?
it's you.
It's me. So, yeah, we've been playing a lot of Heroes of the Storm together.
Keenan's been playing Chad.
Yeah,
King Chad.
we named a hero Chad, King Chad. And I after we were ridiculing him harshly and making fun of everyone for playing him badly, I picked him up and started murdering everyone. So that was really nice. And it made me wonder how people fuck it up.
The real Chad was you all along.
Yes, you the real Chad.
The joke goes as follows: if King Varian Rin was born in the 20th century, what would his name be?
And it's Chad.
It's Chad.
He's
He's a fucking Chad.
So
it's just like Becky Proudmoore of the Kirin Tor.
mhm.
And you could probably make some joke about like his self-inflicted nickname being some sort of like appropriation of black culture off the whole like Logosh thing.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
something like that.
So yeah, lots of that lately. More Rainbow Six Siege. The meta in that game has finally calmed its shit down, and everyone's not doing stupid things, which is nice. Because they just introduced some new game mechanics no one knew what to do with.
Windows, ah!
Yeah, like, oh, you put a window in a wall, now you just have to open it, right? No.
Put a window!
Control information.
In a wall!
Control information when you're defending, you idiots. Like, yeah, so, yeah. And they're gonna patch out the glitch where the enemy can open your window from the other side.
Oh, good.
But I'm gonna miss that, because my favorite thing about that glitch is it doesn't work the first time.
It only works
So they
second.
roll up to the window, and they slap it, and you're like, and you're looking at him from the other side, and you're aiming right at his face.
Yeah.
And then, like, he finally gets it, and 5 people shoot him in the head at the same time. And it's like, you're an idiot for standing in front of that window. Like, my reaction to those windows in that game is I walk in a room, and I look at a wall, and there's a window, and I'm like, someone's looking at me right now,
Yeah.
and he's gonna kill me any second, so I'm leaving. Like,
Just consider all guns loaded.
right.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing. Like, that window has 5 people behind it ready to shoot me in the head.
All the time.
All the time. And it's like a great mind fuck
Yeah.
when people operate that way. So like I'll put windows up and ignore them the whole round because I know people do that.
Yeah.
What else have I been playing? Those are pretty much the 2 things, and Duskers.
Yeah.
Which like Duskers was my like, yo, this is me time game.
Yeah.
And then like my girlfriend will be like, we should shoot some stuff. And so we play Rainbow. And then it's like, hey, everyone's playing HOTS. I'm gonna go play HOTS.
Yeah.
Like, so that's been
It's
this
been
week.
it's been a fiesta this week.
Yeah, it's
up
been
in
fun,
the
though.
Steam.
I like
and
it.
the battle nets.
I like it. It's
Uh,
good.
So pretty much, I like Duskers
Yeah.
and HOTS.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been playing my tanks. I like my tanks. I like disrupting the enemy team. Anyway, that's all we're gonna say about that.
Hold on. I want to say something cool about HOTS.
Okay.
Because I am a recovering LoL addict.
Okay.
I haven't played LoL in like 2.5 months. Which is like a big deal with how much I used to put time in that game. And I really like that HOTS is like the quicker version. Like, I don't get mad at HOTS games because when they go
'Cause
bad,
they're-
it's just over.
They are 20 minutes long.
Yeah, no matter what, it's 20 minutes long. So
Yeah.
if it's bad, I'm like, yeah, cool, whatever. Instead of like, I'm stuck in this game for an hour, fuck you. Right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so like that game is better for my blood pressure.
Oh, yeah. Not everybody knows this, but HOTS has a character that is 2 people.
Ah, yeah.
So it's like one person is controlling where that person goes, and the other person is like shooting horrible
They're an
necromantic
ogre
energy out
named
of it.
Cho'Gall,
Yeah,
and it
Cho'Gall.
always hybrids people's
Yeah, hybrids your
names.
names. So, I've been having a lot of fun riding around players who are better than me at the game, and just killing everything around
Let
them.
people manage the positioning, and
Yeah.
you just do the shooting.
Anyway, that's what I've been doing. So Duskers, that thing I just mentioned. This morning, I did the thing that I talked about last week, where I killed every single person on a Hitman level.
That's been kind of your thing this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
And
you were doing that.
Himmapan Hotel was I was coming at it from a very like
Matt, how many people are in the Himmapan Hotel?
287.
How do you know that, Matt?
You killed them all.
Because at the end, so like at first I had to take it like I had to be super shadow about it. Everybody needed to be hidden.
Did you
But
know?
then eventually, what?
Did you know?
Didn't I know what?
The shadow knows.
Oh no, I'm not. That's wow.
That's a good movie. That's what you were gonna say.
No, that's not what I was gonna say. But eventually, I just create these rooms where I'm over off to the side where they can't see me, but the bodies aren't. And so like they'll be like,
The old body pot.
and they'll be like, "Oh my god!" And they'll run and get a bunch of guards, and the guards will come and go, "Oh my god!" And then I'll go, "Pow, pow, pow!" And then like everybody will be like, "What was that gunshot?" And they'll run over there, and I'll be like, "Pow, pow, pow!" And then like be on the other side of the
And
room,
they tell two friends.
and then,
yeah.
and then a bunch of civilians go, "What was that?"
That's like 287 bucks.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And I didn't know this, but so like I didn't really understand how the target lockdown mechanics worked. But so they have like multiple fallback positions
Oh,
based
neat.
on like where all the murdering is going on. So
Oh,
like,
so they'll go to different parts away from the murder?
away from you.
Nice.
And eventually, and that game, when the game runs out of dudes with guns to throw at you, it really starts freaking out. Like it doesn't know what to do with the alert
the AI
systems.
can't handle
Yeah,
it anymore.
and the AI will be like, you'll find people back at their reset like start positions having the conversations they had at the beginning of the level.
Oh, God.
While like you're like 5 feet away,
Right,
killing
like a
people.
school shooting, just
Yeah.
have it next to them.
And they're just like, did you hear about that thing that happened on the other level? And you're like, what are you doing? And I'm standing here with like a kitchen knife covered in blood. I'm like, why are you doing? It's like, yeah.
I still, like, there's rumors, people are saying, oh, Season 2 needs a multiplayer component.
Why?
No.
So, I don't think Hitman needs a multiplayer component, but I would love an adversarial multiplayer game where one person is the hitman,
Oh,
and the other person runs the group of people in the level.
okay.
Like, I think that would be hilarious, because you would end up with those decisions, right? Like, civilian, go over here and distract him.
Well, no, I think it would be.
Well,
cool.
like,
I
gather
think it
the
would be cool
guards.
if it was AI handles the civilians. You are handling the security team,
Uh-huh.
right?
Okay. Then, because then the AI can be manipulated from both sides.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so, like, I feel like there's a cool
There's a game in there.
game in there, but I feel like it's also super hard to make.
I don't know. Wouldn't be that hard.
I don't know.
You just have to. I think you just have to let go of your suspension of disbelief a little bit. Like
Yeah.
the AI guy would definitely have to be able to spawn things.
Yeah. Yeah, so, like, I've been thinking about, because people have been sort of mentioning, like, oh, maybe there should be a multiplayer component to Hitman. I'm like, I'm in the same camp as you
Why?
guys, like, it doesn't need it.
Why?
But, like, what would that be?
The only multiplayer
know?
I would want out of Hitman is if it was a 2-player co-op.
Yeah, like that would be cool.
Or, like,
Yeah.
or the other side of that coin, if you both have the same target.
I wouldn't have to like race to it.
Like, no, because like one guy would have one thing set up, and then you're like, I'm chasing him with a gun, and then the other guy has to react, right? Like, fuck, what do I do?
Fun thing I found out: the silenced handgun with all the Navy camo all over it is refilled by the pistols that the security guys had. So there was like half an hour where I was just running around because it gives you like 40 bullets every time you pick up a gun.
Right.
So I was just spending those bullets like water, you know?
Because they're everywhere.
Yeah. I was like, because at first I was like, real careful, like every bullet needs to enter a head, you know, but like now, and I was like,
I noticed that about you, like, you're like real methodical until that's boring, and then it gets messy, like, and I respect that. Yeah. It's hard to hold on to that.
Well, like, there's a certain point where you don't need to.
Yeah.
Like, you can just be like, they heard gunshots coming from over here, so I'm going to be over here, and then when they're looking over here, I'm going to shoot all of them.
Right, like, the need for that discipline lowers, but, like, your patience also drops about the same time. You know, like for most people, myself included. Yeah. Like, yeah.
Okay, so that's what we've been playing. The game. Oh, dumbest wrestling moment.
I don't know that I watched a lot of mainline wrestling this week.
I mean, you can just say no. Like, that's an option.
The dumbest thing that happened in wrestling this week is I got The Undertaker in that stupid Bejeweled game.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
That checks out.
I'm gonna feed more Undertakers like to the Undertaker.
Dumb on top of dumb. Yep. So yeah, there we go.
Totally wrestling related.
Any VR things you want to say, Owen? King
I
Kaiju got updated. It has a score system now. That's cool. Good. Yeah.
I finally played Budget Cuts.
Yeah, you were telling me you really liked Budget Cuts because Budget Cuts is really fucking good.
Yeah, it's a very
I want more
very
Budget
good
Cuts.
game. That game has a floor space requirement that is slightly above the minimum floor space for
it's never mattered
room
for me.
scale. Well, so like before I rearranged the furniture in my room this week, I just couldn't make that floor space.
Oh, okay.
And it wouldn't let me boot up again. So it's like, you have chalked out this much space, and
it's like 0.2 different or whatever.
Yeah,
I meant slightly under, and it lets me boot, so I never had it not let me boot.
Yeah, so I recently rearranged some of the furniture in my bedroom and cleaned up a bunch of nonsense around here. So I played Budget Cuts. Budget Cuts is a cool game. You are
trying to stamp your own job application.
Yeah,
yeah, that's the first level at least.
Yeah.
Did the full game come out?
No,
okay.
Full game's not out. The in-game narrative for all that it matters is you're joining a company. And
a company full of robots.
Yeah. Like the gameplay of it, like the story of it, whatever they say is it more or less irrelevant to the story. Like you have to make it through levels that are filled with robots patrolling around with guns.
And you don't have a gun.
And you don't have a gun. The way you do this...
You have a gun.
You don't have...
You have a teleport gun.
You don't have a gun.
You don't have a gun.
You get this little tool, and it shoots a little blue tennis ball that bounces into a room.
I love the preview on that.
Yeah, and so where it lands... you can, from one of your hands.
This is so hard to explain.
Yeah, it really is.
So when you shoot, so that you have a gun, it shoots a projectile. From the projectile comes a secondary camera that replaces the hand you shot it from, and then you can move that camera around and preview where you were about to teleport to.
Right. So it shows you the perspective before you jump there to help you decide if you want to be there.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. And so these robots carry incredibly lethal guns, and they are incredibly stupid.
But they're good shots.
They are good shots.
When they see you, it's on.
Yeah. And so it's all about you, like, firing this thing around and sneaking behind him and crawling up on the rafters and throwing knives and throwing that at him. And
it's VR, so throwing isn't the easiest thing. Throwing the way you want to isn't the easiest thing.
Yeah, it's some tricky business. It's a very good game.
The thing I really liked about that game is when I played it, I started playing with its boundaries. And I realized that, like, it has some idea of your player model in relation to you in a well thought out way.
Mm-hmm.
So there were points where I was literally crawling across the floor of our apartment because there's like a weird kitchen window and a robot on the other side, and I don't want to teleport yet. So I'm literally like crawling next to my couch in the living room, but in my head I'm sneaking through this place with a robot near me. Like, it was one of those things where it was the first time VR like made me do those things.
Made you do stupid shit.
Right, but like in the service of the game in a way that I like both thought was ridiculous, but also super appreciated like that
There's
experience.
a part where you have a hand crossbow and you are in the crawl space of the ceiling.
Oh yeah.
I always get down on my belly
Yeah.
and snipe those dudes through the ceiling.
Yeah, and it's hilarious to watch someone else doing it, but then when you watch what's going on in the game, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, Matt's rolling around the ground, and he's moving his hand in really contorted ways to try and get the crossbow through the vent and be able to aim it at the robot.
Front sight, front sight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so...
I remember when budget cuts came out on Vive, like, seeing GIFs of people at home,
Yeah.
like, trying to put their face through the floor.
Yeah. Because that's what you want to do.
Because there's like Matt was saying, there's a level where you're up in the crawl space above an office, like up in the ventilation area, and you can remove a panel, and the dude like was in it enough that he thought he could peek through that hole in the crawl space.
Yeah, it's like all the people who tried it. I tried to steady myself on a virtual ottoman.
Oh
yesterday.
yeah.
That was the first time I'd done that.
Yeah. The moment you do that in VR and you feel stupid is a wonderful moment.
Yeah.
For me, it was a donut that I thought was there, and I opened my mouth and was really disappointed. And then you felt really, like, not only are you disappointed, but you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I knew there was no donut.
Yes, that like fucking 400 triangle poly donut that I totally thought I was gonna eat.
No, like, but like it does this good immersive job that you're like, yo, donut, and then like, no donut.
No donut.
No
Yeah.
donut.
No donut.
Yeah, I had a person in VR yesterday, and when she got out, she was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm in an apartment."
Yeah.
Oh,
Right. You have to. It's weird because you have to start juggling like what's happening outside of you.
Yeah. I'm starting to get really good at that. I'll be like doing contortions on the floor because I'm doing something in the game. I'll be like, I'm facing you guys, aren't I?
Yeah.
And everyone on the couch will be like, yes, you are.
It's really weird when you can start those background processes.
Speaking of VR, I saw an interesting thing out there. I saw a DIY kit of someone who they soldered themselves together a little thing of LEDs and wires that you can attach to a cup. And
Oh boy.
and your lighthouses will see that and say, I will assign this model to it. And then, so the dude has a specific mug that is like, it's a coffee mug and it's covered in IR LEDs and wires and like a battery pack. And in game, it looks like a mug.
That's great.
Yeah. And it's
Like
just so
he's defined it enough that it like looks
and
like a mug.
I don't know how well that integrates with games. It might just like be this hovering,
Dumb thing.
meaningless object like hovering in the air. But still, it's just like, cool. Can't wait for this tech to come out.
That's great. All right. Any video game news you guys want to discuss?
Payday 3 was announced.
Which for us is a big deal.
Yeah, we're
I think we're in the 1,000-hour club, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I think you might be. I'm at like 500 or 600.
Okay.
I told Steven that, and he was like, yeah, I bet you're excited. And I was like, you fucking know we're excited. But it was like one of those moments where your friend's like, cool, I'm glad you're happy. I'm not.
So it's been mentioned before on this podcast. We are a pro Payday, pro Simon Vickland establishment here.
I have mixed feelings at this point, but yeah, I mean, I enjoy the game.
It's been a rocky road.
Yeah.
I like the idea of Payday.
And like last time we played, I was like, what the fuck is this spawn rate? There's just more people than I could kill. You know?
Yeah,
It was ridiculous.
you know what? Like I they overhauled the difficulties in the game. I think if we go back to that and start from the bottom and work our way up, I think we'll be fine.
Man, I don't want to do that. Anyway, I don't really want to talk about Payday 3 more than it was announced, and this is a big deal for us. But
It's gonna be a weird March.
Why? Is it coming out in March?
Well, like new Zelda game, new Mass Effect. Like,
Oh, yeah,
there's
that's
kind of
coming
a
out,
busy
isn't it?
March in gaming coming
Yeah.
up. You know, like normally March is quiet and I can go play The Witcher 3 again, but fuck you guys, you're putting out good games.
Yeah.
Also, I'm really pumped for Sniper Elite 4, but I have to finish 3. That's my rule.
Yeah.
I made a rule for myself. I was like, I'm not going to buy this new game
That's
when
a
I still
good
got
rule.
half the old one.
That's a good rule.
But
that
like,
game's hard.
But like none of us are gonna get a Switch, right?
I don't have...
I mean, I know Zelda's coming out for Wii U.
No, but like
too,
I'm saying, like, you know, like that's cool. I'm excited. New system, whatever. Like,
Okay. Sure.
News.
Anybody have anything noteworthy or weird happen to them this week that they care to mention to our viewers? To both of them. Owen is shaking his head no, which you can clearly see at home.
Sorry, I come from a television background. Like,
I hate that I like Varian Rin from a mechanic standpoint.
Okay.
I feel dirty.
yeah, he's a jerk.
I feel dirty while I dunk on fools.
King Chad is a jerk.
Yes.
where can they find us, Owen?
At if you want to email us with corrections, which would be weird because we don't make mistakes.
Flawless.
Damn.
Yeah, for real.
GIF.
If you send us a correction, I'm going to send you a correction right back. Oh, you're wrong.
Reply all.
You can email us at badplaystyle@gmail.com, and you can find us at reddit.com/r/r or
/r/r.
reddit.com/r/badplaystyle, so you can talk to the other listener.
Who you live with, Tori. Or Krever.
What was it? What's the British fight promotion? Sounds like a wizard.
Bellator.
Yes.
Yes, Bellator is certainly a sorcerer's name.
Alright, oh shit.
Do we miss something?
Yeah, what are we playing next week? Keenan, what are we playing next week?
Shit.
Is it Inside? Because that was the thing I had as a backup in case you didn't think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. This is what's happening.
Yeah, we might as well do that.
Okay.
I will dig better for
Right.
next time.
It's fine.
Local wrestling takes a lot of my time.
It's Inside. We're gonna play next
We're gonna
time.
play Inside.
We're gonna play Inside.
Play along with us.
Play Inside.
It's like Limbo, but more.
I don't know about that. Anyway,
While we're having our conversation next week, you can talk at your phone or your speakers.
and we will hear you, but we will not respond.
Yeah. It'll be like karaoke. PUTROYSOTLDAY. Fuck this.
Yeah.
Give me motion, you bastard.
Our theme music is made by my good friend Benjamin Busey. You can find his SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/basicbenji206.